of the nation.
Welcome to News Hour on Some TV Television. We are the pulse of the nation and broadcasting live from Jalingo. Follow us on Facebook at Some TV and stream live on YouTube at Some TV Live. Now the major headlines. International Day of Peace 2025 calls for urgent global action against violence. Federal government launches and at last AI to promote indigenous languages and digital inclusion. Adamawa State sustained accelerated basic education program enrolling over 12,000 out-of-school children. I am Esther Oka-Steven with the news info. The International Day of Peace observed on 21st September called attention to the urgent need to end global violence. The 2025 themed Act Now for a Peaceful World highlights ongoing conflict in Ukraine, Sudan, and the DRC, which have displaced millions and claimed countless lives. Nigeria also faces severe insecurity with over 11,000 deaths in Plateau, more than 350,000 lost to Boko Haram, and widespread cases of banditry and kidnapping. Experts stress that peace is vital for development, urging security reforms, accountability, and inclusive governance. Ambassador Franklin Cosmos, founder and coordinator of the Inspire Peace Initiatives, who joined us in the studio yesterday, addressed three key questions on Nigeria's peace-building effort. We go on a brief commercial break. We'll be right back. Don't change the channel.
When a tanker bearing fuel falls or an underground pipe bearing fuel bursts, what do you do? Scooping fuel in your bucket or running far away from impending fire? You have a few seconds to take the wisest decision. Walk away? No, that is not enough. Shift? No, that is not enough. Stay there and gist and take shots with your phone? That is madness. Run. Yes, run away. Yes, your life depends on your action. The flames come suddenly, unexpected but uncontrollable. Why? Fuel is highly inflammable. Why? It just requires a spark to set off a ravaging inferno. So, don't stay there to think. Storm away to live. Do not throw away your life in anguish for meaningless fuel siphoning. Be advised.
Welcome back. Vice President Kashim Shettima departed Abuja for New York to attend the 80th UN General Assembly from 22nd September to 28th, representing President Bola Tinubu. He will deliver Nigeria's national statement, participate in the general debate, and engage in side events including announcing updated nationally detained contribution under the Paris Agreement at the special UN climate session. The UNGA coincides with the organization's 80th anniversary, drawing global leaders for key discussions. Meanwhile, the federal government unveiled a new large language model and at last to process Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, and Nigerian accented English, developed by the National Center of AI and Robotics with Aweri Technologies. The open-source AI promotes digital inclusion and elevates African voices, operating on the Lemma 3 architecture. The Adamawa state government has pledged to sustain the Accelerated Basic Education Program ABEP for out-of-school children following UNICEF's GPEAF project, which enrolled over 12,000 learners across Gombe, Lamurde, and Madagali local government areas, surpassing the initial target of 7,200. Some TV correspondent files in the report.
The Adamawa state government has vowed to sustain the GPEAF project, meant to address the challenge of out-of-school children, bedeviling most states in the country. In a wrap-up meeting held in Yola, education stakeholders reviewed the program's impact that has recorded significant success across 3 local government areas of the state. The Commissioner for Education and Human Service Department, Garba Umar Pella, represented by his permanent secretary, Hajia Aisha Mohammed Umar, reaffirmed government's commitment, stating that the program launched in 2024 with 7,200 targeted learners, but exceeded expectation through the back-to-school campaign supported by traditionals and religious leaders, enrolling over 12,000 children across Gombe, Lamurde, and Madagali local government respectively.
Is something that cannot be handled by just the government alone. We need support for it to scale up. And this is what we have gotten from the GPE accelerated funding that is being supported by UNICEF. It's a welcome development. We have really achieved from their support in so many areas.
Speaking to the press, UNICEF education specialist Dr. Abdurrahman Ado detailed that the state government has pledged to continue funding 123 learning centers established under the project, raising hope that more children will gain access to education and brighter future.
It has 3 key objectives. The first objective is to see how we can increase the access for children who are in school and also the children who are out of school. While the second objective is to also look at how we can strengthen the quality learning so that the children that are in school, they can also celebrate to say, yes, we are achieving the learning outcome. These are also achieving the system strengthening in such a way that we have a very good plan, we have a very good system that we can be able to deliver what we have planned, and also at the same time to have a checkmate too, that we can say, yes, are we on track or we are off track.
One of the learners, Sani Yahaya, expressed his joy, noting that the knowledge gain is already improving his life. The GPEAF project was also implemented in Borno and Yobe states respectively, aiming at building resilience and expanding access to inclusive education across northeastern Nigeria. Ojama Yusuf, Som TV News, Yola.
In Osun State, Governor Demola Adeleke praised President Tinubu for restoring history as a compulsory subject, emphasizing its roles in bridging educational gaps and documenting leaders' lives. Speaking at a book launch marking the 15th coronation anniversary of Otaojo Obajimo Oyetunji, Adeleke encouraged biographies and autobiographies to preserve societal memories and revealed plans to unveil its own in 2026. Additionally, UBEC Executive Secretary Dr. Aisha Garba expressed shock at an explosion at LGEA Primary School, Ata in Benue, that injured 7 pupils. She assured victims of full medical care, commended the swift response of Governor Hycinth Alia's administration, and urged schools nationwide to strengthen safety measures. The Nigerian Labour Congress NLC Ondo State Council has demanded an upward review of the state's minimum wage of 73,000 naira to 256,000 naira, while also calling for increased pension for retirees. In a September 19th letter signed by State Chairman Comrade Ademola Olakbade and Secretary Comrade Akim Sunday, the union cited inflation, subsidy removers, and rising living costs as justification for the demands. The NLC urged that Ondo, being an oil-producing state, should lead in workers' welfare, stressing that prompt payment of salaries and pensions, though commendable, is insufficient to address escalating economic challenges. The union called for urgent negotiation with the state government to implement the revisions. These demands reflect broader social pressures in Nigeria, where cost of living increases, insecurity, and inflation continue to strain families, while organized labor advocates for fair compensation and improved welfare structures. The World Health Organization (WHO) has warned that nearly 1 billion people globally live with mental health conditions, urging immediate government action. Director General Dr. Tedros noted that NCDs account for 7 of the top 10 causes of death worldwide, while suicide ranks fourth among 15 to 29 years old. The Nigerian suicide claim approximately 15,000 lives annually. Ahead of September 25, UN high-level meeting on NCDs and mental health targets for 2030 will include cutting tobacco use and expanding access to mental health care. Security and humanitarian challenges continue domestically, with Dr. Mohammed Osholafia, Senior Special Assistant of Humanitarian Services in Nasarawa, abducted by suspected kidnappers in Lafia. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency (NIMET) predicts thundery weather across the country, potentially affecting vulnerable communities. Confusion persists over casualties from a terrorist attack on the 152 Task Force Battalion in Banki, Borno, with civilian survivors evacuated to Cameroon. Meanwhile, Jigawa State Police arrested 4 suspects linked to cattle rustling and motor vehicle theft, highlighting ongoing security risks impacting public health and well-being. In addition, the urban security rural communities continue to face deadly attack. Villagers along the Makudi-Lafia Road blocked the highway in protest after 5 farmers were killed while heading to their farm near Guma local government area, Benue State. Protesters used the curbs for 3 victims to block the road, underscoring frustrations over persistent insecurity. In Benue, at least 16 members of Operation Yaham Unyo, a joint police and civil protection guard task force, were killed by armed herdsmen and local militia during an ambush in Agu community, Kasinala local government area. Vehicles were set ablaze and several operatives adopted, with search operations ongoing. Similarly, in Kogi State, government killed police officers and a passerby at checkpoints in Agbugi, and Islelu, reflecting a rising pattern of attack on insecurity personnel. Meanwhile, a notorious Katsina bandit, Kachala Umaru, cautioned that purely military strategies would exacerbate insecurity, emphasizing the need for community engagement and peace-building measures alongside security operations. The Nigerian Air Force has intensified its counter-terrorism efforts, killing over 25 terrorists in a coordinated night operation at Bula Yobe and the Bakin Axis of Borno State. These operations target remnants of Boko Haram and other armed groups destabilizing northern East Nigeria. Confusions remain over military casualties following a recent terrorist attack on the 152 Task Force Battalion in Banki Bama local government area, Borno. Several civilians were evacuated across the border to Mora, Cameroon for treatment while residents fled for safety. In addition, the Jigawa State Police Command arrested 4 suspects linked to cattle rustling and motor vehicle theft in Adajia local government areas, reflecting continued law enforcement vigilance in northern Nigeria. Together, these security measures demonstrate a multi-pronged approach to combating terrorism, banditry, and organized crime nationwide. Political tensions and party loyalty continue to shape Nigeria's political landscape. Malam Nasir El-Rufai, former governor of Kaduna State, criticized President Bola Tinubu's administrations, claiming it is worse than any military regime Nigerians have experienced and describing it as a disgrace to democratic ideals during a meeting with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. In contrast, the Forum of State Chairmen of the defunct Congress for Progress Change reaffirmed loyalty to President Tinubu ahead of the 2027 election. The group stated that 20 of its 37 members remain committed to the APC, while others succumbed to opposition pressures, including financial inducement. The forum urged the presidency to address marginalization within the party and emphasize its grassroots relevance. It later clarified that a few members' visits to Atiku Abubakar's residence was a personal discussion and did not represent the group's official stance. This development illustrates ongoing tensions and strategic positioning as Nigeria prepares for the next electoral cycle. Highlighting compassionate governance, President Bola Tinubu recently directed the automatic employment of all 4 children of the late Grace Adeyilo, former FCT head of service, following her passing on 1st September 2025. Minister Nyesom Wike announced the appointment of her funeral in Abuja. This directive underscores the administration's commitment to honoring public servants and supporting bereaved families. On the technological front, the federal government launched N-Atlas, a multilingual AI model supporting Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, and Nigerian accented English, aiming to amplify African voices in AI development. This initiative reflects a governance approach combining international engagement, social responsibility, and technological innovation to enhance Nigeria's domestic and global standing. This brings us to the close of this edition on News Hour on Som TV. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube at Som TV Live for breaking news, in-depth reports, and expert analysis. I am Esther Oka Steven. Stay blessed.